The weak lion. Everyone mocked, until he proved them wrong. Inspirational story. Every animal in the jungle laughed at this lion. When the world grows loud, we light a lantern and listen. This is Ozzy's Moonlight tale. Every animal in the jungle laughed at the lion. They called him weak. They said he would never be king. The hyenas laughed the loudest. "Look at him," one of them howled. "That lion can barely hunt." The monkeys pointed from the trees, chattering and mocking him. "He sits alone all day," one monkey screeched. "That's not what kings do." Even the zebras and antelopes whispered when they passed by. To them, the lion looked tired, small, and defeated. Most days, he sat quietly on a large stone near the edge of the jungle, watching the world around him. And while the jungle filled with laughter, the lion said nothing. He didn't argue. He didn't roar in anger. He simply listened. But when night came, everything changed. When the sun disappeared behind the hills and the moon rose softly over the jungle, the forest became quiet. The animals slept. The wind moved gently through the trees and under the silver light of the moon. The lion began to train. He ran through the tall grass until his legs trembled with exhaustion. He climbed steep rocks and hills that overlooked the jungle. Sometimes he slipped, sometimes he fell, but every time he stood up again. Night after night, he pushed himself harder. While the jungle slept, the lion grew stronger. Weeks passed, then months. Slowly, the lion began to change. His body became stronger. His movements became faster. And deep within him, something powerful began to awaken. But the animals still laughed. They only saw the quiet lion sitting on his rock during the day. They never saw the effort hidden in the moonlight. Then one day, the jungle shook with a thunderous roar. Birds burst into the sky. The animals froze in fear. A massive rival lion had entered the jungle. His roar rolled through the forest like thunder. He walked through the land as if it already belonged to him. The zebras ran. The antelopes fled. Even the hyenas backed away nervously. No one dared to challenge the newcomer. The jungle fell silent. Then slowly, one lion stood up. It was the same lion they had mocked, the same lion they called weak. The animals watched in disbelief. "What is he doing?" whispered the monkeys. But the lion walked forward calmly. His steps were steady. His eyes were focused. And when he reached the center of the clearing, he lifted his head and roared. This time, the roar was different. It was deep, powerful, and it echoed across the jungle like a storm. The rival lion turned. For a moment, the entire jungle held its breath. The two lions faced each other. The rival lion roared again, trying to intimidate him. But the lion who had trained beneath the moonlight did not move, because he had already faced something stronger than fear. He had faced doubt. He had faced failure. And he had faced the laughter of the entire jungle. With one final thunderous roar, he leaped forward. Dust filled the air as the two lions clashed. The animals watched in stunned silence. But the lion who had trained night after night was no longer weak. He was powerful, disciplined, and fearless. At last, the rival lion turned and fled into the distant wilderness. The jungle grew quiet. Slowly, the dust settled. The animals stared at the lion standing in the clearing. No one laughed anymore. The hyenas lowered their heads. The monkeys stayed silent in the trees. Because the lion they once mocked now stood before them as their true king. Sometimes the world laughs at quiet effort. Sometimes strength grows where no one is looking. And that is why they mocked him, but they were wrong. Thank you for joining tonight's Moonlight tale. Remember, the effort no one sees today may become the strength the world respects tomorrow. Because some stories don't just entertain, they guide us and stay with us long after the moonlight fades. If this story spoke to your heart, don't let the light end here. Subscribe for more stories that inspire and uplift. This is Ozzy's Moonlight tale, where every story carries a little light. Until our next moonlit moment, sleep gently and dream kindly.